Have you seen Into the Woods?
No.
I don't love it. It's okay. Some of the music's a little annoying. But and it's a little dark. I mean, it's really dark sometimes.
Because it's in the woods.
Welcome to the enny1 podcast, episode 3, where enny1 can talk about anything. First off, band news for the month. So we had a super fun show at the Murray Senior Center. I did not know what to expect, but I was pleasantly surprised. What's your guys' thoughts after that show?
They were young for their age. They weren't so bad.
I don't know what I was expecting it to be because they made it sound like it was some kind of family night thing. So I was thinking This was like families were going to be there, but they were like attentive, like they all sat and watched. I just felt like I don't know, something about them going in and sitting at those tables and starting to do stuff. I was like, I feel like we're intruding on their
craft,
their hangout time. They were like hanging out and talking and stuff. And then finally some people came and sat in the audience, but it just felt like it felt like it might have been reluctantly, but then like people kept coming and people kept showing up, and then the tables were turning and facing us.
Yeah, they kept coming. But we should say, and I was going to mention this too, but so what was her name?
Kathy.
Kathy like watched all these podcasts, did her research. It was really cool. She's a big fan.
Yeah,
she was
we appreciate
saying stuff that were like, how in the world did she know that?
So Kathy was she was the MC. I don't know what role she has at the senior center, but she works there in some capacity. I'm not sure, but she approached us before the show. Maybe she does, and she knew all our names, which is pretty awesome. She came up to us. She knew our names. She knew things about us, and then she started making little, kind of wink, nod references to things we'd said in the podcast, including our joke about rocking the seniors to sleep, which was pretty funny. Anyway, but she did it in really good humor. It was funny, and it was cool that she did that research and did her due diligence just so she could introduce us at the beginning of the show. That was pretty cool. But I don't know, I had fun. I didn't notice any reluctance from them. It seemed like they were really enjoying us. And like I particularly, I know this is like a small thing, but like they started applauding unprompted near the end. I don't know if you noticed that, but like
they're clapping us off.
We finished like the second to last song, and then I was just like, hey, this has been a lot of fun. We really enjoyed ourselves, and they just started applauding. Like I just felt like a genuine gesture of appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that kind of like, I feel like that's not the normal thing, especially when we play at some places where we're kind of the background music, where you kind of feel like you finish a song and nobody pays attention to you. No one even like acknowledges that you just performed your heart out for these people. You know, that was not the experience here. So
they're happy with the song being over, so now they can talk to the person.
Exactly. I hate that scenario.
Yeah. I did think it was cool. So we got an encore. We literally
That's
forced
true
us
too,
to play another song.
They did.
We didn't want to.
Well, that was the thing too. Like when I got back up to the mic and I said I heard someone call for an encore, there were several audible expressions of like
play again,
pleasure. Yeah, like you know what I mean? Oh, dude, I can't.
I don't know why that's funny.
I don't know what these guys are doing in the audience.
Music's an aphrodisiac. It's a natural one. And so it got them going.
Anyway, long story short, thank you to the Murray City Senior Center. Man, that's a tongue twister. Thank you to the Murray City Senior Rec Center. We had a great time. Hope we get to play again sometime.
Great snacks too.
Yeah.
Cookies right before the show.
Oh my gosh, she came in clutch there for you.
Seriously,
I was starved.
See, man, they bent over backwards for us. That was a great
There's cookies and raisins, and I chose the cookies. I figured it was sugar either way, so
it's great. It's great. Okay, in other news, we have 2 new songs scheduled to be released on October 10th. So keep an eye out on that. We will have a link in the description where you can go and pre-save that on Spotify. And just look forward to some new music. All right, next up is What is Ryan in the heck talking about? A game where the band tries to interpret my lyrics. I will read some lines from one of our songs, and you guys will explain, or try anyway, what the lyrics are about. So this month's song, I decided to do Demons and Pet Peeves, which is a song that we released a few years ago. And I didn't realize until I was going over this, it's a lyric-heavy song. It's pretty lyric-heavy. So, but I do want to know. Also, I've been planning this for a couple weeks now, and I didn't know that Cameron would not be. I always forget to mention our guest on the podcast, Carl Schleich.
Carl. Schleich, yeah.
Thanks for being here, Carl. Yeah. Ready to bend over backwards, literally. I mean, he can bend in all kinds of directions to fill in an empty spot here, and he always has so much to add. Don't you think? I mean,
he's always so lively.
So lively. He's here because Cameron just wasn't doing it. You know, he just
yeah. Yeah, we didn't tell Cameron that we were recording this. You'll find out later, but
when he sees this episode drop.
When he sees the, yeah.
But yeah,
it's
no,
kind of
Carl,
hard to keep this a secret from him.
You look good, Carl.
Carl Schleich.
Been losing weight for this.
Demons and Pet Peeves. I'm intrigued. I'm curious to know what you guys have to say because Cameron's not here, and this is a marriage-related song. Anyway.
Well, and I think, too, it'll be fun because I've been playing this one for a long time, and I remember liking the lyrics, but we play it so often now that I just play my part. I'm not listening to the music now when I play it, so it'll be fun to revisit this.
But you sing the backup vocals on part of this.
Yeah.
So you at least probably know those lyrics. Have you internalized those lyrics, you think? I guess we'll find out. Okay, here we go. Verse 1. When we're alone, we feel it's for who we are. For love cannot come to those who have wounds and scars. And many will argue that you have to be whole before you can welcome into your heart another soul. But you know my demons, every little pet peeve, and sometimes it's hard for me to believe that someone could love me, knowing just who I am.
But I gotta be honest, I feel like that first verse, I don't know if I totally agree with that.
So you disagree with what?
That you can't, that you have to be whole before you can let someone else in.
That's good that you disagree.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a healthy thing. But I would say that I have related to that. Like, I feel like, at times you're like, well, I'm just not ready for someone else. I'm a mess or whatever. But then you're just always waiting. And, so, yeah, I think it's good.
I put the two together. When we're alone, that's the way we feel. And I don't know if that's what you're going for, but now that I feel like I'm in somewhat of a situation like that, I'm on board now.
Yeah. When you say you're on board, you mean you agree that...
I agree with that. From what I understand that to mean, when we're alone, this is how we feel. I feel like if I'm not my whole self, I can't let another person in, especially if that's from a recent fallout with someone that you've had feelings for.
I like the chorus because it's like, I think that's kind of the definition of like that true love that we're looking for. It's like, everything crappy about me. I'm not hiding anything, and somehow you're still here. I think that's pretty cool. I like that lyric.
Well, thank you. Should we move on to verse 2? And when we were younger, we thought we'd just fall in love, that everything needed would just fall in line, and people will tell you that if it's meant to be, that love will come easy, or it will fade in time. But you know my demons, every little pet peeve, and sometimes it's hard for me to believe that you love me even after seeing my worst.
Yeah, talking about the Hollywood version of love that's just like so easy and it just happens and it'll just fall in line, and that if it's meant to be, it'll happen, love will come easy. But then you go into the chorus where it's like, no, you know all these crappy things about me, and you're still here. It's work. You're putting in work. You're like realizing that. That's what I feel like.
That's good.
You're saying.
It's good. I like it.
I think you and I have talked about this before, where it just kind of sucks that all of the Disney movies and all the fairy tales, and why am I drawing a blank on the line? And
they lived happily ever after.
Why couldn't I pull that? Yeah, that's the beginning of their relationship, especially with like some of the Disney movies where it's like, hey, you met 2 days ago, and they will happily ever after.
Seriously.
And I feel like, especially when you find that new connection, you're like, that's my future spouse. There, that's who I'm gonna marry. But I think the chorus goes along with that first one. The same thing where it's like, you know the things that bother me, you know the things that I've dealt with in the past, or skeletons in my closet, and
the Carl slices. No, I like where you were going though. It's true. Like it is true that I've ranted about Disney movies, and this isn't the only song I've written that attacks that assumption that Disney movies have put forward, that assumption that once you've met your soulmate, then all your problems are solved and life will now go like a breeze. And it's like, I mean, if Disney movies were realistic, like just step back for a second. You look at like Cinderella, like her background, the trauma she's seen. Both of her parents are dead. She's lived with her terrible stepmother and stepsister. Yeah. She's been abused and enslaved by them for years.
Yeah, real baggage.
Right? Like she's got some real baggage.
Yeah.
She is at the very bottom. She's as poor as you can get. Mm-hmm. She's a slave. She starts this relationship with the king, the future king anyway.
Yeah.
Of the kingdom. Like there's going to be some serious issues. Like there's a certain. I mean, you just look at like the problems that like some of our modern royalty have dealt with. Like Kate Middleton or whatever.
No.
Not Kate.
It's the other one.
I don't follow up on this.
Markle.
Harry and Markle. Yes.
Yep.
Like there's been some issues there. There's tradition embedded in royalty. Like anyway,
you know what I'll say though. This is what I thought. Just not in defense of Disney, but in defense of like these old stories. It's kind of actually maybe more of a metaphor of like us and God being like the one that
saves us.
Going spiritual here, but like us being the poorest of poor, being at our very lowest, and meeting, the prince being like God saving us from this terrible life that we have. So I think maybe that's what it could be, and I don't think in today's world like these new movies that are coming out, like I definitely don't think they're like pulled from that. But I think like you look at Lion King and Cinderella. Anyway, so that's my only.
I hear you. I don't want to necessarily turn this into a huge bash on Disney. And I don't want to go into everything I believe about it, but there's a certain problem I have with the way Disney handles things, is that they're so far removed from the original source. The original story of Cinderella has quite a few other elements added into the story that Disney took out and cleaned it up and made it more kid appropriate. You know what I mean? But like
stuff.
The story was originally written
she was actually
for children. No, I mean the at the end of the story, as it was originally told, which was it Hans Christian Andersen that told the story?
Hans
Zimmer.
Yeah, I don't
know. Anyway, I don't know exactly who wrote it, but I understand. As I understand it, the original story ends with the stepsisters cutting their toes off to try and get them to fit in the glass slipper.
Oh, nice.
And then at the end, like
hope
he's not a foot guy.
Crows come and attack. Foot guy. Crows come and attack the stepsisters and the mother and pluck their eyes out. Like it's
nice.
It's a lot more gruesome. There's got to be some symbolism, like you're talking about, in there. Anyway, long story short, is whether there's that symbolism there or not, it is lost on the majority of the people watching it. And what does stick is that same pattern of marriage equals smooth sailing from here on out, and I disagree with that. And it's not even, but that sentiment doesn't necessarily even start with Disney, because like there are Greek myths that promote the idea of the soul mate, right? There's that Greek myth that humans were originally four-legged creatures, and then some god came down and split us in half, and now we spend the rest of our lives wandering until we can find our second half.
Oh, nice. It's romantic.
Sure, but I think it's a harmful ideology. This idea that there's one person out there that you are made for, that you fit perfectly with. That's the whole thing about you have to be whole. Like you've got to be perfectly prepared and molded to fit into this soulmate. And when you meet, you'll just mesh, and there will never be a moment of conflict. It's like this baloney. Yeah. That's why I was curious about your guys' input, because you're not married. You haven't, haven't had the same experiences I've had, right? So I'm just curious about your thoughts.
Yeah, yours was a Disney movie and just went smooth sailing and everything was perfect. And
it made it look like that on the outside.
A fairy tale story.
And frankly, the only reason why my marriage has worked is because my wife is amazing, but I've had to do some work to.
Which is, like I think coming back to the songs, like Demons and Pet Peeves. Mm-hmm. Demon would be what, just like stuff you personally face, the baggage you may have. But I mean, Pet Peeves are almost just as annoying sometimes. It's like these little things you do that are just terrible. This is an amazing fireworks show that we're missing.
We are missing it. Should we just pause it and go out and watch it?
It's over now. It's
not over. That was the grand finale, but then they realized they had one in the box still. So like, let's just light this thing.
That's crazy.
No, I like that. Yeah, because like demons are very extreme things, like the skeletons in your closet, the real trauma and baggage that you're dealing with from something from your upbringing, and we all have something that to that degree, a bad temper, a complex with something that happened to you as a kid. But then you've got the pet peeves that are just, like I said, when two people come together, you've got two different backgrounds, and expectations. And just routines. And when you get married, that gets thrown off. For some reason, I had this pet peeve with the word yummy.
So dumb.
My family never used the word yummy growing up. But her family does. And so when we first got married and she would use the word yummy, I was like, what are you, a child? Like, that's a childish word,
Yeah.
Now I'm used to it. It's fine. I use it. I've got kids too, and this makes it easier. But like, it's just little things like that. Like, that's not a big deal. That's not the kind of thing you go to therapy for, but it's a thing that can kind of wear on you when you start a new relationship,
So you hated that song by Justin Bieber.
Oh, is that?
You don't He's never heard it.
I don't listen to Justin Bieber.
You know what they should do, and maybe we should pitch this to Hollywood. They should make a movie of like, as soon as end scene, they all live happily ever after, and then that's when the story begins of like Cinderella and this prince.
The opening scene is the wedding.
Yeah, and then he just starts to realize like, what is going on? And she's like, he's like a jerk. It's all about money for him. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
Instantly.
Well, Into the Woods kind of touches on that. Have you seen Into the Woods?
No.
I don't love it. It's okay. Some of the music's a little annoying. But and it's a little dark. I mean, it's really dark sometimes.
Because it's in the woods.
But there are like it touches on that. I think that Cinderella, and not to spoil it, but I think Cinderella and the prince get divorced in the end. And there's a couple things that just kind of sets these. It drags these fairy tales down to the real world where there's with real human struggles and sins and imperfections and struggles, you know what I mean?
Shrek.
So, yeah, kind of like Shrek, sure. I don't know, I haven't seen that in ages.
I'm just trying not to laugh at it because it's in the forest.
That was a good one. We gotta move on. Let's move on. Let's do...
It's 12:11.
No, that camera's...
Goodness.
We're gonna do questions from a hat.
That was an annoying laugh. I hated that.
You're alive?
Let's make sure this is quiet enough that it doesn't blast our ears. Okay, we are going to do the spinner.
We got to do it. Oh, Cameron's on the spinner?
He is on the spinner. We'll see what happens.
Oh, man. I've wanted to go Cameron so bad.
All right, man.
We haven't done this in a while. Did you already say that?
We did it last time. Remember?
Oh, did we?
Remember Cameron got it twice while he was doing his Legos?
Oh, yeah.
Would you rather have a time machine that only goes back in time or only goes forward? I feel like I've already thought on that longer than what it actually took to decide that. I would 100% go back in time.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I would do over again.
Really?
A lot of stuff, yeah.
Wow.
Like this podcast.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say just now is that feels like the selfish answer to kind of go and fix my past, but like you could also potentially do some good. That's the grandfather paradox there as well. But
Kill Hitler.
Yeah.
Baby.
Ugh, that's interesting.
That's dark, dude.
Yeah,
Would you do that for real?
Would you kill Hitler as a baby? Would you stare in his tiny little...
No, I'd wait till he failed art school for sure.
Wait till he's low and he's ready to go in.
You got the right one.
There's an episode of Family Guy where they go back in time and they stop 9/11 from happening, and it causes a chain of events that just makes things so much worse than things are now.
I don't think I would take that into my hands. I wouldn't change.
You just do something
events.
smaller, like Bitcoin.
Oh, 100%, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember when
That's funny.
I didn't know nobody knew how it worked, but I remember I was online and there was something that I was going to buy and it offered you could pay in Bitcoin, or I looked into buying Bitcoin and it was like $1,400 at the time, and like, man, if I had just like bought $5 worth at the time, I would have at least $10.
Oh, no. It's at least doubled. Wow, yeah. Dang.
That's what you would do? That's funny. No, I that would be tempting for sure. I worry about what any changes in the past. Like, I don't know. Like, you have just as much of a chance of things going bad as good.
How much do you think it actually impacts stuff, though?
Like, I mean, how many movies do we have to watch about this to realize that you try and go back and change the past? I think it's overblown. You know, I mean, Harry Potter. You know, episode 3.
Yeah, episode 3 at the time.
The third book or whatever. Like, what do we learn? Oh, stop it.
Instead of movie.
Harry Potter, Revenge of the Sith. Gosh. I get it. But then, like, Tenet, he says, what's happened, right? You can't go back. I geek out about time travel concepts. There's the I don't know the names of them, but there's the Harry Potter book 3 theory that there's only one timeline, and no matter how much you go back, you can't change things, right? It's already happened. Tenet seems to follow that same principle. Then there's the Marty McFly way, where you can go back, and if you change something, then you branch off a whole new timeline, and this one disappears, and so you can change things. Right, so I guess it depends on which of those. So if you believe you can go back and create a new timeline, that's great, but then if you watch Infinity War, then you learn... Is it Endgame. Then you learn that by doing that, you can make a big mess, because who knows what the implications
branching
are.
Timelines that all go in different directions.
Precisely, yep. So, yeah.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
But going forward kind of isn't the answer either, because you've seen Click.
Right.
Where he like fast forward through his kids' lives.
He skips his life, yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's super sad.
Well, and like, why would you go forward? Like, even if I stayed the same age going forward, and then all of a sudden all my family's old or potentially gone, no thanks. I guess. And like, even if you could come back, I guess are we saying I can go forward and return?
That's what I was just about to ask. Yeah.
Because you could go to the future and say, "Where's Bitcoin? When do I buy in?"
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a good question. Yeah, I was just assuming as you were talking that you can come back, but because if you go back and kill Hitler, then you're stuck in the 40s.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd suck.
Or I guess if you're gonna kill him as a baby, then you're stuck in the early 1900s. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to live through the flu virus in 1918. World War I is still gonna happen if you kill Hitler.
Yeah.
World War II, maybe not. Hopefully, who knows?
Well, and
you know what I mean? I didn't.
Also,
history lesson.
I think with that too, if you go back and assassinate Hitler, he becomes a martyr for that movement.
Well, if you not as a baby.
Okay.
Or as a 14-year-old kid who dropped out of art school or whatever.
For some reason, I'm thinking Hitler.
You got to choose the time right, and I mean,
power.
And you can always keep going back, right? If you go back, kill Hitler, and then you live for 20 years, and you realize, oh no, it all still played out exactly the same. Then you just go back again a little further and kill him earlier, or and I don't know. Or you observe like, when did this start? You go back and if you could come back, I would go back, and I would just try and go and meet some historical figures that I admire and just ask them questions. I have big questions for some people in the past. You know what I mean? And even to observe certain events, like
I think it'd be interesting
it'd be crazy
to like track certain things because the victors write the history books.
Yes,
it'd be interesting to see how much of that is actually true and like how much of it's just total garbage.
Yeah, let's say you go back, but you literally can't change. You can't even act, really. You can't do anything.
Just
You're
observe.
Just observing. That would be so sweet.
That'd be sweet.
That'd be
Fly on the
crazy.
wall.
Yeah, you go back to ancient Egypt, see what it was like back then.
Hollywood, hit us up.
Yeah, that was a good question. That was cool.
That would actually be
It
cool.
probably
All right.
wouldn't be that funny.
Well, thanks, boys. That was fun. Thank you for joining us today. Hope that you have a great month, and we will see you next time. Let's send the enny1 salute. Good one.
Even Carl Schleich.
Dude, how long is this?
Man. You had no idea what that was going to turn into. If you had a time machine, you never would have said that.